I was very optimistic when the trailers dropped for this game, but I was still very skeptical. For the past couple years, COD has been a shell of its former self. And even looking outwards, to say that multiplayer shooters have been dropping the ball would be the biggest understatement of the decade.
A new restaurant called the Krusty Krab 2.
I told myself that Modern Warfare 2 was the final attempt. If this game was bad, then I would never pick up a Call of Duty game again. So I bought it, and I've played it non-stop for a week. Did this game deliver?
Make sure y'all capture the point next time.
Shut
Draco,
up,
you
get the fuck out.
Make sure you capture.
You stupid broke.
Make sure you
Draco, you
capture.
suck. Go get a job. Fucking kill yourself to get to this.
COD campaigns are known for their combination of memorable stories and moments. Each campaign had to either build off the story that came before it or create a new story that found a way to explore its characters in a new way. Game after game, this became harder and harder to do, and success after success made it inevitable that their flame would fade eventually. So, in the land of 2022, with multiple titles having a terrible or non-existent campaign, how do you even begin to hold a candle to the ones that came before it? It's simple. You don't even bother to pick it up. Modern Warfare has a basic and honestly not that interesting story. Spoiler alert, if you really cared. Guy has missiles, we go to stop him, we stop him, he gets away. Oops, surprise, government betrays us. We kill government bad guy, we stop missiles, we kill guy.
Assange down. Enemy KIA.
But what this game lacks in story, it excels at in gameplay. Early missions introduce new and unique mechanics that fit right into the style and the tone of the mission they're presented in, such as using cameras to help ghosts traverse through a prison without getting caught.
The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky.
Or a crafting system to create tools to help sneak around when you're injured and don't have a gun. And while these concepts are interesting on their own, what truly sets this campaign apart is that the game gives you the freedom to use these mechanics and play the level exactly how you want to. Don't want to waste your time using heartbeat sensors or adjusting for bullet drop? You don't have to. Just run in and start shooting. Where previous titles would give you a game over screen for shooting civilians, this game goes,
Boss, you killed a child.
Amazing. Mission complete. That right there is why you're the best, boss.
Now, on the harder difficulties, learning and mastering these mechanics are either required or make the level infinitely easier to beat. Thankfully, the game doesn't really throw new stuff at you and send you on your way. It eases you into different parts of it and just suggests ways to utilize it.
Nice.
And while a good majority of these missions and the mechanics in them are one-time only, some of the later missions do reuse mechanics they taught you earlier and give you the freedom to use these mechanics how you choose. Each mission felt like its own mini-adventure, and while I can see the counterpoint that introducing new mechanics each mission feels gimmicky, they executed it well enough that I was able to suspend my disbelief for like 12 hours. So, in my book, it was one of the strongest campaigns we've seen in a long while. Very fun. Spec Ops. I played all 3 missions and it went about as well as you'd expect from 2 people trying to be serious and failing at every corner. You have to walk up to them to disable them. Okay, well, that shot gave it.
Oh, okay. Alright.
You can't disable them? Oh, yeah, it's the button.
Either we're really bad at this, or...
I think we're really bad at this.
I feel like there's so much shit that's hitting the fan, but it's not matching what we're looking at.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit! I'm out of ammo! Oh my...
I'm out of rounds.
Alright, I'm gonna climb to the roof. You go.
Well, you failed that tremendously. I've been... Jesus fucking Christ, soldier.
I'd like to play this at least a little bit sneaky, but I think something already tells me, yep. Yep.
Yeah, no, I think they know.
Where are we going?
Forward, brother.
Oh, I pressed the wrong button. They ran me over. Every time you get out of the truck, you get blasted in the face by a shotgun.
Yeah, it was clean.
One of our cleanest missions yet.
In the future, I'll come back to this, maybe when it has more missions, and I'll have a stronger opinion. But for right now, it's okay. 2 people instead of 4 is a bit disappointing, but it still works. Multiplayer. Is it good? Yes? This game feels like an interesting combination of old school and new school FPS games. You have all this technical stuff, special abilities, attachments with major upsides and downsides, and specific weapon tuning. And at the same time,
It's just fucking shot.
the technical stuff is good, but the gunplay is great. Guns look and feel powerful in your hands. Attachments are impactful, but the base guns are still strong in their own right. Iron sights aren't the worst thing on planet Earth, freeing up an extra attachment slot for both SMGs and ARs. Every gun can kill if you can aim. Almost everything centered around guns are designed to make fighting someone with those guns fun and engaging. And the only issue that I have with the gunplay is that the time to kill is a little too fast. If snipers aim down sights a little slower and every gun took like one more bullet to kill, it would be perfect. But when we talk about anything that isn't a gun, oh boy. The UI in this game is absolutely horrendous.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Picking what game mode to play requires you to go through like 3 menus. Adding friends to your party and even seeing who's in your party is like planning a heist. And if you're in a party, every time the leader goes through one of the 37 menus that they have to go through to click the play game button, you are backed out of whatever menu you are in, making it very annoying to change classes in between matches. Speaking of classes, despite the customization itself being cool, class creation itself is not fun. First of all, minor pet peeve here, it's horizontal instead of vertical, so you can't see all your classes, which class is which, and what you have in each class. I'm gonna be honest with you, Chief. I don't want to scroll. I have 10 classes. Why are they not all on my screen at once? But moving past that, everything about a class is confusing and unintuitive. The perk system is a 4-perk system where the first 2 perks... Pass me the perk 30s, goddamn. Perk system is a 4-perk system where the first 2 perks are given to you at the start of the game, and perks 3 and 4 are unlocked as the game progresses, through kills, taking objectives, or just with time. But the game doesn't explain any of that at all, so it's very easy to think you have this amazing perk lineup, one of the best perk lineups we've ever seen. Open up the game and get dumpstered on by a VTOL because you didn't know Cold-Blooded isn't real for like 5 minutes. It's technically something new, but coming from Pick 10 and actually balanced perks, this feels more like a band-aid solution than an actual solution to the problem of unbalanced perks. Slapping a temporary fix on an overarching issue only hurts in the long run. Something we've seen other companies fall prey to for seemingly no reason. Moving on to the biggest change in this game, Gunsmith 2.0. Guns are more connected in this game than ever before. To unlock more than half the guns, you have to level their brothers and sisters before them. Attachments and camos are unlocked by using a specific gun, and once they're unlocked, they're usable on any gun after. This is one of the smartest and best changes you could possibly do to improve both the grind and the player experience. Since receivers span different types of guns, it incentivizes people to try different guns out, and trying a bunch of different guns lets you find the gun you truly enjoy. And when you do find that gun that you like, you still have to use different guns to unlock new attachments for that new gun, which means you can still find other guns that you enjoy along the way. And if you don't like a gun, that's fine. Since each level on a gun either unlocks an attachment or a mod, the max levels for guns are insanely low, making the grind so much easier than before. So if a gun is bad, but it has an attachment that you want for another gun, you only have to use it for a couple matches, and you never have to use it again. It makes trying new guns engaging, it makes grinding bad guns as painless as possible, and it keeps the game feeling fresh as you are constantly using different guns to find new attachments for the guns you really enjoy. And once you do find those perfect attachments, you can still tune them, either making their upside stronger or making their downsides weaker. I've already spent hours just testing the smallest tweaks to make my gun exactly the way I want it. Dude, I can nerd out on this game. I love Gunsmith 2.0, but while I really like the changes themselves, everything revolving around Gunsmith is so bad. Everything I just told you is not explained at all, and not having this explained in-game anywhere makes this fundamental part of the game impossible to understand, and the UI actually couldn't be worse. If I want to use this sniper rifle, I have to use this marksman rifle. Alright, so which marksman rifle is this? I have to click what button to find it? What attachments am I looking at? Which attachments can I actually use on this gun? What the fuck am I looking at? This is awful. This is awful. I understand what I'm looking at, but I'd be surprised if more than 10% of the community knew what they were looking at too. But this is bad. And it's not just bad, it's actually misleading. I wanted to unlock the PP Bison. The game's telling me I need to get the Vaznev 9K to level 14, so I did. But the Bison was still locked. Here I am thinking, wait a minute, is the game glitched? What's going on? Why is it not unlocking? I look around for like 15 minutes, quitting and re-entering the game, going online to see if other people have had the same thing happen to them, until I finally go to the gun before it, and I see that the receiver actually unlocks when you get the cast-off to level 18. The game straight up lies to you. And because it's so impossible to see which attachments unlock with which gun, I thought the game was literally broken. This UI is unacceptable. And I can go on and on about how detrimental this actually is, like how I didn't realize you could swap between kill streaks and score streaks for like a day, all because it's a tiny gray button in the bottom left of your screen, or how I actually had no idea how to check what I got at each level, because guess what? Progression isn't on your profile, the button with your current level, the icon of the level that you're at, and a goddamn XP bar. It's found on these 6 tiny squares that mean actually nothing. Or yada yada yada, you get what I'm saying. It's literally hurting the gameplay experience. Speaking of the gameplay experience, multiplayer is flawed, but ultimately, fun. There's a lot of things that I have problems with, but at the end of the day, I like my video games like I like my women. Toxic as fuck. The game modes are largely the same. If you've played them once, you've played them 1,000 times, and the new game modes, Prisoner Rescue and Knockout, are just search and destroy, but slightly better in their own special way. Luckily for me, I like search and destroy, so it works out just fine. But invasion and ground war? They don't have problems. They are the problem.
Dog shit.
You have these large, creative maps that are actually barren because everyone and their mother is on a rooftop shooting at you from 900 meters away. The second you spawn, someone has a reticle on your head. On a teammate, walk 4 feet and get sniped. In a vehicle, take 1 step out of the car and get sniped. Sometimes you don't even have to get out of the car to get sniped. In a helicopter, they are shot out of the sky within 20 seconds. And the second you pull that parachute out, you get sniped. In your spawn, too bad. Someone is spawn camping you on top of your roof. The only positive that I can say about these godforsaken game modes is that you can level your rocket launchers here. But as far as fun goes, it isn't. For the real game modes, the maps suck. It sucks to say, but there are way more maps that I dislike more than I like. And it includes one of the worst maps ever seen in COD. No. In video game history.
Kill yourself.
They are either way too open, way too closed off, or way too one-sided. And in every map, the spawns are disgusting. I know the common trope, it's COD, spawns are always gonna be bad, but come on. This guy literally spawned in my crosshair.
Wow, what a spawn. Literally.
Yo, what the fuck?
That is a completely warranted response.
It feels like the game refuses to spawn people on the ends of the map. And I just don't know why. These maps aren't even that big. You would have to run like an extra 5 seconds. Why do I have to spawn 7 feet away from the point? I don't get it. It's awful. It's awful. Honestly, I think a lot of the maps would feel a lot better if spawns were fixed and you could actually spawn on the ends of a map. That didn't sound very fun, but honestly, all of that is overshadowed by just how fun it is to exist in this game. Movement feels fluid but not broken. Diving through windows is just as exciting as it used to be. Mounting on a wall and mowing down people running towards you sets off every dopamine receptor in my monkey brain. Climbing up the sides of buildings like a discount parkour stuntman is, well, useless, but it's still cool. Clutching a 1v3 in Search and Destroy is a high that you can ride for the rest of the night.
Nice ass.
And that's really all I care about in a COD game. Yeah, skill-based matchmaking still exists, but it feels a lot less aggressive. There are times where, yeah, I get absolutely dumpstered if I don't run a try-hard SMG build, but there have been a lot of games where I'm allowed to run around with a riot shield and an RPG, throwing knives at people and laughing as they switch to RPGs in response. And even in those times where I get trashed running a troll build, this game just doesn't feel as punishing to die. It's hard to explain, but it's much easier to have fun when losing in this game. And that's one of the biggest positives for me. In this modern day video game industry where competition trumps enjoyment, having a game like this where I can just hop on and shoot people and not have to worry about winning or losing is refreshing. So, the big question, do I recommend buying this game? Well, if you want an interactive, unique story, or just want an FPS where the only thing standing between you and a good time is all of these goddamn menus, then I would definitely say it's worth the purchase. It's not like you have better options right now anyway. But if you are on the fence, honestly, wait for a sale. The game is good, but there's a lot of things that make this game hard to get into for old-timers or inexperienced players. And while I'm having fun with this game, that doesn't always mean everyone is gonna have fun with this game. But man, it's good to have the old COD back, even if just for a moment.
Oh.
No! Where's Mr. Meeseeks? Is he safe? Is he alright?
I don't even understand at this point.
We're fighting a battle. That motherfucker is fighting a war.
Oh my fucking god. Fucking COD lobbies, man.
It's good to be back.